In this lesson, we'll talk about the view discipline. The discipline of the view is set as a property, and we're going to have a look at the help menu actually, because discipline really has two things. There's the discipline of the view, and then the categories are also factory set to be in a discipline. So a lot of what discipline has to do with in Revit is factory set. There's not a lot you can do with it. The best you can really do is understand how all those little factory settings work. The only flexibility is for you to be able to pick in a view and go to the properties of the view and then pick what discipline you want the view to be. But beyond that, Revit pretty much does what it's going to do based on that information. So there's the discipline of the view. And when you do that, you can also organize your views here by discipline. Okay, so you can organize each view gets placed in here, and each view has a discipline. And if you change the view's discipline, it'll sort it differently if you've said to sort your views by discipline. So each view has a discipline. Each element in Revit knows what discipline it's part of. It's not a property. You're not going to pick on a beam and it's going to say discipline is structural. All beams are structural discipline. All load-bearing walls are structural discipline. All non-load-bearing walls and doors and windows are architectural. All ductwork is mechanical. All lighting is electrical. And all pipes are plumbing. So you can't change a pipe to be a different discipline. So the view has a discipline. The components know what discipline they're part of, and you can organize your views according to discipline. From there, elements will behave and view display differently depending on the discipline of the view. And a mechanical item will display quite nicely in a view set to be mechanical. But a mechanical element will not display the same if the view is set to be architectural. So if you're working on architectural stuff, set your view to be architectural. If you're working on structural stuff, set your view to be discipline structural. If you're working on mechanical, set your view to be mechanical. Okay, so watch what happens. I'm in a view over here. I'm in this mechanical drawing. I'm going to change the discipline of that view to be architectural. What's going to happen? All the walls are going to come forward instead of being grayed out. Mechanical stuff that's overhead is going to disappear, and basically it's turned this into an architectural view. I haven't moved my cut plane. I haven't done anything. All I did was change the view from mechanical to architectural. What happens if I set it to be plumbing? Well, plumbing and mechanical very much the same. Mechanical stuff will show up in plumbing, and plumbing stuff will show up in mechanical. And we're going to go and have a look at the help menu. Over here we have a structural drawing, which is set to be structural. If I set this to be mechanical, okay, it's going to change a little bit different. I'm still going to see some of the structural stuff kind of grayed out. The beams and overhead stuff are kind of faded away. The tags are still going to be there, etc. Okay, so when you have a section or an elevation marker or tag, if you're in a mechanical view and the section is for a view that is architectural, the actual section bubble won't show up because this is a mechanical view and the section bubble indicated is pointing to an architectural file. So having said that, let's quickly skim. I went to the help menu and I typed in discipline. And there's a topic here about view discipline. If we click on there, there's a rather extensive set of rules inside of here. And I'm not going to read them all off, but you just should be aware of it, okay, in the different disciplines. And this has come a long way. At one point, there was almost no information. It was really like finding your way around in the dark. So if we just go to the top and skim down here, we'll see that, the discipline property determines how discipline-specific elements display in a view. Use the discipline property to control the following behavior: which element categories display, which element view tags display, whether the view range and its cut plane control elements that are above and below, whether your automatic hidden lines are applied to the view. So again, some good reading material in here, and it shows you an example, okay, of how a view range works. Views inherit the discipline of the originating view. If you cut a section in an architectural plan, that section will be an architectural discipline. So architectural discipline. When the discipline property is set to be architectural, all element and categories display in the view regardless of their related discipline. Okay, so architectural kind of shows you everything a little bit, but it's not going to show you stuff that's above your work plane, etc. So you can see there's some information here on point 1. You'll notice this displays this way and this displays a certain way. Then we talk about the structural discipline. Okay, when the discipline is set to structural, all element categories in the view, regardless of the discipline. However, non-structural walls are not shown; they're hidden. Okay, in plan views, the view range and its cut plane control the display of view elements. And again, some samples of what happens when you set a structural discipline down here. Mechanical, electrical, and plumbing disciplines. These are all very similar. There's a couple of slight differences that they explain down inside of here. Okay, so some examples and how different things work and some really nice points. So coordination discipline really just shows everything. Coordination is a catch-all. It's for exactly that, coordinating architecture, structure, mechanical, electrical. Whenever you need to coordinate all of your disciplines, you have a linked model, you want to see it all, set your discipline to be coordination, which is a catch-all, basically shows everything. And mechanical will show architectural, but it'll show it grayed out or, half tone or whatever. So there's some little finite rules about setting the discipline of your view. I encourage everyone to have a read through these, but for the most part, what happens is you're in a view, you set the discipline of the view, and then the elements in that view will display accordingly. Clearly, if you go to an architectural plan and you set the mechanical discipline, your structural stuff or architectural will disappear. If you're in a structural drawing with structural stuff, columns, beams, and joists, set your discipline to be structural. Architects the same way, mechanical, plumbing, and electrical. Then once you set that as an example in here, watch what happens. I'm going to go to this floor plan. Watch what happens when I set it to be architectural. Okay, it's going to change a little bit. But if I take my project browser and I right click and say browse this, search and sort by discipline and hit OK, Revit was asking me to save there. Now what happens is, I have one architectural floor plan. Okay, subdiscipline is structural, but okay, so again, if I take this view and I say, sorry, you are not architectural, you are electrical, watch what's going to happen. It's going to show it under electrical now because I changed the discipline. So the sorting in here can be by discipline. The views are by discipline, and the elements themselves are pre-factory set to know what discipline they are.